खेल मजा नहीं है तो खेलो मत.
Which was last year on the 5th of July. And that game I played after, 7 months of retirement. I hadn't practiced at all, hadn't played a single ball actually, just couple of balls, a couple of days before that game, I decided to practice and it rained. So I had to be in indoor nets and then suddenly out in the middle, I thoroughly enjoyed being there in the middle. But then the next morning, my body appreciated that there was a wise decision to retire in 2013 November.
Okay, so the mind is willing, but the body is not. So no regrets. No regrets about retirement. You don't, when you see the TV screen, you see your contemporaries, much junior, of course, to you, playing the game. You don't think sometimes, maybe I should also get in there, and I'm sure you'd score runs against the best attacks even today. Just a few hours of practice and you'd be back there.
I know I can bat a bit. And
you can bat more than a bit.
If I practice, it would be fun. Cricket has always been, fun for me, and thoroughly enjoyed those challenges. Once I went out, you met a number of great bowlers, and you had to plan. You had to, it's not just about planning, but it is also how you're able to execute those plans. And if your plan A is not working, how quickly you pick that and you move to plan B. Those kind of things the game taught me, and it is just about think whether my body will be able to sustain that pressure or not. And I can tell you it won't be able to sustain that pressure. One off game here and there you can manage, but once you're out of cricket, you're out of it. And it was a sheer joy to watch our team play the way they did against South Africa in Melbourne, where I witnessed the game. My first World Cup match, in fact, my first match after retirement from the stands. A new experience for me, but a very pleasant one.
Okay, that's a good way to start the life lessons from Sachin Tendulkar. But are cricketers born or are they trained? Was Sachin Tendulkar, you think, born to play this game? Or do you think you were trained and it's those years of training that made you the cricketer that you are? Was it a God-given talent that you always had?
I think we have to train. Nothing comes easily. And I remember when I was maybe 6-year-old, 5-6-year-old, holding a cricket bat and swinging the bat and without thinking much about the technique. It was all about enjoyment. But then a serious chapter started in my life. At the age of 11, my brother took me to Achrekar sir, and that beautiful journey of playing cricket for India started there. I had to work hard. All successful people, they all have worked hard. Nothing comes easily. But I also believe that from a good player, you can become a very good player, but that third level, which is sitting right at the top, where only those brilliant players sit, that I would say it is God's gift. But from a good player, you can work hard, spend those thousands and thousands of hours on the field or working on your game, on the way you approach the game, the way you think, the way you plan, all those kind of things. You can plan and you can execute them, but you can become a very good player. To become a brilliant player, it is God's gift. I mean, there are so many tennis players around, just to give you an example. Now, how many play like Roger Federer? There are not many. I mean, Roger Federer is something really, really special. And
is he your favorite sportsman outside cricket?
Without any doubt. I think I'm a big tennis fan. And when it comes to cricket, I might as well give my example. If I field for 4 hours, I'll never feel like Jonty Rhodes. Jonty Rhodes is special, and that is God's gift. He's the best fielder I've seen. And, he would put doubts in your mind. Even if there was an easy single and you saw Jonty's face, you would say, no, I better run hard because you never know. And that fear he was able to put in your mind.
But this God's gift point, because I remember seeing you as an 11-year-old, and honest to God, you hit the ball harder than all of us who are 18 and 19. I remember you coming with your brother to the ground, And we said, this kid seems to hit the ball harder than us. Now, someone up there had decided, we all trained. We couldn't hit the ball outside
It is also
the
that,
square.
and I feel with those brilliant players, probably you are always step ahead of the opposition when people said that, you get more time to bat, or Roger Federer plays those amazing shots. Right? Because he's already anticipating what possibly the other good players are not able to do. And I don't know what technique he uses or whatever, but it has to be God's gift.
No, because we thought that there was something that you had for breakfast as a 6-year-old that made you hit the ball so hard. But you just had a skill. It comes to some, and you're right. You are a legend like Federer is. And I've just wondered, and you put it well, that if you have to make that last leap to greatness, is that just about training? Thousands of kids every day will train to become the next Sachin Tendulkar. But to become the next Sachin Tendulkar, what is that X factor? Was there something there in your early years? Is there something that came within you? Is it within? Is it deep inside you?
It has to be within you, first of all. Cricket, or for that matter, any profession. I don't want to just stick to cricket. Whether you want to become a doctor, lawyer, or a hockey player, football player, whatever. It has to start from your heart first. And then in my case, cricket started from my heart, and then it found its way to my brain, where I started figuring out how to score runs and how to plan my innings. Not always I went out and I was able to smash each and every ball. There were number of overs, number of spells, sessions, where I had to just let the ball go and wait for my time to come. And that is what, maturity brings in you. And then I felt in my case, it took some time, because I had started my career quite early. I mean, I was only 16 when I started.
You matured at 15 and 16. We all matured at 50. And we still haven't matured, sorry. We still haven't matured at 50. You matured at 15. I remember you played Wakar Yunus hits you in the head, and you sort of go on and bat and score a 50. So at the age of 15, when most of us are studying for our ICSE and SSC exams, you're playing Wakar Yunus. You matured at 15. You're a prodigy. Why? Come to terms with it. Have you come to terms with the fact that you're a prodigy?
Well, I just went out and I played cricket, and I didn't think any more than that.
That's putting it simply. And what is the best and worst thing about being Sachin Tendulkar? What is the best thing about being Sachin Tendulkar, and what's the worst thing about being Sachin Tendulkar?
The best thing about being Sachin Tendulkar is I was madly in love with cricket. I'm still in love with cricket. And I enjoyed playing cricket. People enjoyed watching me, and they also paid for me. To how many people get to live their passion throughout the career and also earn money from that and make life out of it, which is the best thing. I mean, the love and the adulation, respect that I've received from everyone, I'm ever so grateful. And
the worst thing?
The worst thing, the other side of the coin is, from the age of 14, I had started traveling a bit. And then when I played for India quite extensively, I missed out those wonderful years of spending time with my family, my friends. There were a number of friends who would go out and watch a movie, and I would be practicing, or I would be on tours. Then the second half of my career was when I got married to Anjali, and I had two beautiful kids, Sarah and Arjun. I've missed their birthdays. I've missed number of special occasions which mean a lot to a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, when all the parents would exactly understand what I'm trying to say here. And I had no option. And the toughest thing for me was my son was not so happy that I was playing cricket and leaving him. He was only 3-year-old then. And then for almost first 6 years of his life, he didn't speak to me on the phone. And if I was away for a month and a half, that was without even hearing Arjun's voice. He absolutely hated that, so which was really difficult for me. And I would tell my wife that at least make him say hello to me on the phone and I'd be happy. You know, to stay away from them was the toughest bit for me.
That's an interesting thing you're saying, because Don Bradman's son changed his name for a while because he just couldn't take the pressure of being Don Bradman's son. Is life unfair for Arjun Tendulkar? Poor guy goes to bat every time. People are going to say he's Sachin Tendulkar's son. Is that unfair?
Maybe this is the right forum to mention that. Yeah, I mean, couple of years ago, Mumbai press felicitated me, and I got this opportunity to thank them personally, because every now and then you meet individuals, but you never get to thank everyone collectively. So at the same time, I told them that my father never pressurized me, you know, into picking a cricket bat. He never told me that, you know, I'm a writer, you have to also start writing. He gave me complete freedom to express my talent and be whatever I wanted to be in life. Whatever I dreamt of, he supported those dreams. He didn't want to live his dreams through my career. And the same thing I want Arjun to do. If he chose to become a cricketer, he loves cricket. Early on, he was in love with football, then chess, and all those things continue, but he wants to become a cricketer, and he has chosen that. The kind of freedom that I had, I would expect everyone to give him the same freedom, and to fall in love with cricket. You know, if you fall in love with cricket or with your passion, that is the best thing you can do in life. And the results follow, you know, your process. The process is really important, and all I go out and tell him every morning is, you know, Arjun, you have to appreciate what you've got in life and not complain what you haven't got in life. And that way you would be in the right space. You know, it is important for a sportsman to be happy. And if you're happy with yourself and you're happy with your effort that you're putting in, the results will follow. Don't worry about scoring centuries, because people will come and tell you, oh, your father didn't bat like that. But I wasn't batting like that at maybe 14 or 13 either. So people are comparing. It's a wrong comparison, because people are judging me after having played international cricket for 24 years. And you are starting your career, so don't get bogged down by that. Don't let that fire within you die down. You have to go out and enjoy the sport above all.
Do you want him to be a test cricketer? Or are you okay if he becomes, let's say, a journalist? Are you okay if he becomes a television anchor instead of a cricketer?
I want him to be happy in life, and that is what matters.
Okay.
It is not, I mean, if he wants to play for India, and that is his dream, then I would go all out in supporting him, encouraging him, and directing him. But if he doesn't play for India, and he's a happy person, that is what matters to me.
If there were three things, A, B, C, in one line, that make Sachin Tendulkar what he is, three things. Short three things that you think make you what you are.
The right values, because I was brought up by my parents, teaching me the right things in life. There were a number of occasions when my father used to be in the living room, and I found difficult to figure out whether it was my father's closest friend or a postman or a cleaner, kachrewala as we call it, because he treated every individual with so much respect. And I learned that from an early age. And one message which he gave to me was, you know, that was when I started playing for India. He said, you've already achieved what you wanted to be in life, to play for India, but what happens after this? I would appreciate if post-cricketing years, people still loved you as much because of your nature, the person that you are. And that is something which is going to stay with you permanently. The rest will be all temporary phases. You know, you'll play for 10, 15 years. So that foundation was laid. Number two was, there was a balance between the excitement of success and the disappointment of failures. Nobody got carried away with when I was successful in school cricket. There were no huge celebrations. We would just offer a box of sweets to God and thank for whatever came my way. And that process at home was, we think about the next game and the rest of the world will talk about the last game. So that process continued. Even, in my last test match, my brother called me after I got out and he said, why did you do that and how could we rectify that? And I'm thinking on the other side, we are talking on the phone, and I'm thinking, I don't know whether I'm going to go in ever again to bat or not. And we are still discussing, but the important thing was that process continued throughout my career, which contributed immensely. And last, but the most important thing was my passion and my love for cricket. I would practice for hours and hours, and I would never get tired. My coach would actually get me out of the net because it used to be so dark that we could barely see each other, but we'd still be practicing. And then after that, getting tired, the most beautiful thing was at the end of the session, all our school friends will get together and eat loads of vada pavs, and those memories are incredible.
So, but you ate the vada pavs only after having batted and scored 300 runs. In school cricket, you were a terror. Let's be honest, those poor opponents, here was a kid who was batting all day, so the vada pavs were worth it. But let me ask you, today, do you have any regret? What is the one biggest regret that Sachin Tendulkar has? Something that you regret?
I think one regret has to be in when Pakistan toured India, I think in 2000 or 2001, around that time, after a long time. And we were playing in Chennai. It was a very tight game. And we had 4 wickets in hands and needed 17 runs, and we lost that game, which was a huge disappointment.
You scored 100 and got out. Just 16 runs away from victory.
Exactly. And that is when, my back pain started. And at tea time, I remember lying in the dressing room with, cold towels all over my body because my whole body was cramping, and back had started hurting terribly. So after the game, we lost, and I was in the dressing room, I was crying like a baby because of, I was so disappointed, and all that feeling wasn't a great one, and I didn't go out to receive Man of the Match award. That is one regret. I should have controlled my emotions, and I should have gone and faced the world, and I should have taken that award and done whatever. So that is one regret. That is one thing I'd like to change.
One secret that you today want to reveal. Tell us one secret, something that you've never told the world. I need a headline.
After you reveal your secret, then I would.
No. I have
does that
my
say
life
a
is an
secret
open.
then?
My life
Let the secrets be secrets, Rajdeep.
No, there must be something. You're not going to tell us your secret. Is there something that you want to tell us? Something that the world doesn't know about Sachin Tendulkar? Is there a side to you? Are you a bathroom singer? Are you something that, we don't know Sachin Tendulkar because you've never told us the other side of you. So is there something that you like?
I remember a funny...
I know you like fish curry. Is there something that we don't know about you?
A funny story. I was, I think, 6-year-old. And I used to look at my brother, and, he would use his aftershave perfume and all that, and he would put it back in his cupboard. And we were not allowed to use that. We were not allowed to touch that. So not realizing that, and I would open the cupboard, take that perfume to the bathroom, spray, and then come out and put it back in the cupboard. Not knowing that, the rest of the guys could also smell that, and I thought I had done that.
You like aftershave, right? You like aftershave. You have a great collection of aftershaves.
I enjoy.
You enjoy it. Okay, that's one secret. Okay, Sachin Tendulkar, if you're ever giving him a birthday gift, give him a good aftershave. That's one thing that we know. The best captain the best cricketer in the world didn't necessarily become the best captain. Is that a regret? Is there something? Why didn't Sachin Tendulkar become India's captain for 10, 15 years?
Yeah, cricket to me is a team sport, and when I was a captain, there were some tough tours. I went to West Indies, and West Indies was a better side. Went to South Africa, went to Australia. There were a number of challenges that I was met with. And one common thing that I experienced during my captaincy period and in 2011 when we went to England and Australia. We lost test matches because there were not enough runs on the board and we gave far too many runs. And the similarity was again in England in 2011, there were not runs on the board and we were not able to pick those 20 wickets. So we gave far too many runs and we lost 4 test matches in England and 4 in Australia. To me, it is a teamwork. It is not about individuals. I mean, there are stages where captain comes into play and captain will guide, captain will take those important decisions on the field. But eventually, the batters have to go out and score those runs, and the bowlers still have to land the ball in those areas. And that is something I felt which lacked. And when
Is that a regret? Is that a regret that you were not able to perform as captain? As
I was also, dropped, as you can call it, from captaincy when I had done only 12, 13 months in my first thing, and that was a disappointment because you select the captain thinking that he is going to take the team forward, and then if that stint is not long enough, if you have played only 2 matches and you've lost both, then the success rate is 0. And suddenly, if you've played 4 matches and you've lost 2, you become 50% successful, and so on and so forth. That tenure was also not long enough, and I sort of, it was a big disappointment for me. So to overcome easily.
Okay, that's fair enough. You're saying it was a big disappointment for you that you couldn't get that long tenure as captain. Let's look at life now. There's one thing, from the time you were 6, you've dreamt, held that cricket bat, entertained all of us. Now, the second half of life. What is life beyond cricket for Sachin Tendulkar? What is your life now? Has it changed dramatically?
When I was playing cricket, cricket was my life. Cricket made my life. Cricket gave everything to me in life. Whatever I have today is only because of cricket. And during those years, the rest of the things were in the background. My focus was only on cricket. My family played a huge role there. And then taking away all the other pressures, and all I was left alone to think about was my cricket. That really helped. But things have changed. They've flipped around. And I don't have to think about cricket anymore. Only I have to think when I have to speak to you, giving those interviews. Otherwise, I don't, I enjoy cricket. I love cricket. But simultaneously, there are a lot of other things that I've been doing and I've been involved with. And it's a sheer joy. And something which I always felt was first innings of my life was about achieving my own targets and thrilling moments and chasing my dreams. The second innings of my life is giving something constructive back to the community who've supported me, who've encouraged me, who've loved me for a number of years. And if I can give something back to them, it's all about my satisfaction. And I'm involved with a couple of initiatives. One is about the encouraging children from the slums to educate and to show a brighter side of life, to give them a fair opportunity. And there is another project which is we are lighting up as many houses as possible. There are thousands and thousands of villages in India where there is no electricity and life comes to standstill after sunset. Life in darkness is miserable, and we are looking to put as many solar lights in their villages as possible. And that's something which is all about satisfaction. I'm trying to do that.
Indians usually play the second innings when they bat better than the first innings. Remember that always. So let's just see that little bit. You brought a little video to show us what Sachin Tendulkar does in life beyond cricket, and then I'll ask you a question on that, since people want to know often whether Sachin does enough. Let's take a look at this.
हा एक जो इनिशिएटिव्ह आम्ही दोघांनी सुरू केला आहे स्नायडर इलेक्ट्रिक बरोबर. ज्यावेळेला सूर्यास्त होतो त्यानंतर तुमच्या सगळ्यांच्या आयुष्यात अंधार का असावा हा एक प्रश्न होता माझ्यासमोर. आपल्या देशात अशी छोटी छोटी गावं आहेत जिकडे संध्याकाळी अजिबात लाईट नसतो, फॅन ही नसतो. प्रोजेक्टचं नाव आम्ही स्प्रेडिंग हॅपीनेस ठेवलं. म्हणजे थोडक्यात सगळीकडे आपण आनंद पसरवतो. काय म्हणतात? सगळ्या इकडच्या बसलेल्या लोकांना या छोट्या गावाला मी देवाकडे अशी प्रार्थना करतो की तुम्हाला देव सुखरूप ठेव आणि त्याचा आशीर्वाद तुमच्यावरती असो. थँक्यू.
You know, the reason that was important was that when I asked people what is the question that they want to ask, the one controversial question they asked is, Sachin Tendulkar is a Rajya Sabha MP. What does he do as a Rajya Sabha MP? Should he not be doing more for society? He's now a Bharat Ratna. Should he not be setting up a foundation, doing much more for society? How would you respond to all of them? What does Sachin Tendulkar do? As you said, you want to give back to society. Is that by being a member of Rajya Sabha, or is it by taking initiatives like the one that we just saw?
Becoming member of Rajya Sabha is a huge, huge honor, and I was nominated. So I decided the day I was nominated, I said that I'm going to give my best. I'm going to try with all my other commitments and all my other dreams which I had thought of. You know, along that, what is it that I can do? And I feel going to Kerala just now as a national sports competition where I was their ambassador and I spent time with the organizers and I said I would promote sport, promote football, various other things. I think something which as a sportsman I believe is really important is how could one introduce sport in school, and that is something which I want to do, and I've already started working. I've made a proper plan, a document which is about leading healthy lives. And talking about diabetes, we've got 75 million plus diabetic patients, and that is only because we are not aware of healthy lifestyle, and that starts from a grassroots level. Also, when for any sportsman who's competing at an international level, his formative years are really, really important. What he does from the grassroots level is really important. How he prepares himself, how much knowledge does he have about our past sporting heroes. All those kind of things are really, really important. We identify talent when they are 12, and at the age of 18, we expect them to bring us gold medal back when they are competing in Olympics. So that's something I want to change. As a sportsman, I want to introduce this in schools. And also have sports as a subject in school, because it's going to have a positive impact on the nation. There could be healthier doctors, there could be healthier journalists.
Healthier journalists? Okay, you put your finger at me. It's almost a cue for me to say goodbye on that. But just a quick word. Do you prefer that, the work that I saw you doing in the villages of Maharashtra, to sitting in the Rajya Sabha or joining politics? Will Sachin Tendulkar ever join politics or public life? You can contest from any place in Maharashtra.
I won't join politics. So once a sportsman, always a sportsman. This is a huge honor. I mean, By no means I'm disrespecting anyone. It's a huge honor, but my heart is with cricket and my heart is with sport. So in that area, how could I contribute more? And that is one side of the coin. And the other side of the coin you saw just now on the screen, that I would like to light up the entire nation. There should not be a single house in India without electricity or without light post sunset. And that is my dream. The only reason to show this film here was I'm hoping that we'll get some donations so we could bring more smiles on the faces
So can we have a Sachin
the
Tendulkar?
less fortunate ones.
So can
That
we have a
was the
Sachin
only
Tendulkar
idea.
Foundation?
Nothing more than that.
Sachin Tendulkar Foundation, like the Tiger Woods Foundation?
We are. I mean, spreading happiness is something that I've joined hands with Schneider Electrics, and it is not just about Schneider, providing those lights. It could be any other company. So it is about what we can give back to the society. It is not about just promoting one brand. So it's not at all commercial based. It is all about making more people happy and able in our nation, where 15 years down the line, our nation will feel that impact, feel that change, and there'll be more educated people.
Two quick, short questions with one-line answers. Who is the next Sachin Tendulkar?
I don't like comparisons. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be Sachin Tendulkar. I didn't want to be anyone else. So when
You didn't
someone
want
else
to be
is
Sunil
growing
Gavaskar.
up, Sunil Gavaskar was my batting hero, and so was Vivian Richards. I wanted to bat like them, but I always wanted to be Sachin Tendulkar.
Okay, you always... And my final question, and I can almost guess your answer. Who's going to win the World Cup? And I want an honest answer now. If you had 1,000 rupees in your pocket, and you perhaps have more than what I have, certainly. So who is going to win the World Cup? Come on.
Are you trying to tell me that I'm betting? I don't gamble.
No.
That thousand
I'm
bucks.
not look, you can't
Stay
fix
here.
You can't fix
Joke.
the match sitting here. So if you tell me who's going to win the World Cup.
I think the way India is playing, India is going to win the World Cup, and I hope. I mean, there could be a louder cheer for this. I'm so impressed with the way team is playing. We are batting well, we are bowling well, we are fielding well. There is not a single department we've not ticked that department, and we've been playing consistently well. It's not one or two games. First, there was a big question mark whether we'd be able to beat Pakistan this time or not. Then said, okay, fine, Pakistan wasn't a strong team. We normally do that when we are doing well. We don't give full credit. We try and hold something back. I would give full credit to our team. And the next match which I attended, which was in Melbourne, which was a big game, a tough game, South Africa and Australia, Melbourne, I thought we outclassed them. And South Africa didn't play badly. We made them look like that. I thought we really played good cricket, and it was terrific batting, bowling, and amazing fielding. I mean, those fielding, I thought the turning point was when Mohit Sharma got A.B. de Villiers out, run out from deep point. That throw was terrific, and that was the turning point, according to me. And it is all because of each and every individual has chipped in at the right time, and that is what is going to help us go all the way through.
Okay, so Sachin Tendulkar says India will win the World Cup. We'll take your word for it as a World Cup winner in 2011 yourself, and it's a good point on which to bring in my friend and colleague and your biographer, Boria Majumdar, who's going to ask you the cricketing questions. I've asked you the life questions, and I've got a little bit of the life that Sachin Tendulkar has had. And as I introduce Boria, I just want to ask something for someone like me who's now turning 50 this year. How do you stay fit? What is your fitness mantra? Do you have something to stay? How do you stay so fit? What is it that you're doing that I'm not doing? Come on. What is your fitness mantra?
So you still consider I'm fit? Okay,
I think
that's good to know. No, it's good to be active. It's good to engage yourself in outdoor activity where you burn some calories.
Do you still diet and do all that?
I don't diet, but if I've eaten something which in my playing days I would not go anywhere close to, that, I look to burn those calories.
So if we have butter chicken for lunch, you're available, right?
Yeah, I can eat, but then you are available when I go to the gym, right?
Okay. You still gym, huh? You still do the gymming?
I do, and I think every individual sitting here should do something, because as my grandmother always told me while I was growing up, health is wealth. If you don't have good health, there is no use having whatever $1,000 in your pocket will not help. So
Well,
look after
I
yourself.
wish I had your health, and I wish I had even 1/100th of the runs that you had. That's all that I would pray for. But thank you very much, Sachin. It's been a pleasure, and I want to bring in Boria to take forward this conversation. Thank you again.
Thank you.
You know, this is a tough one. 25 years of cricket, 35,000 international runs, and we've got 15 minutes to get Sachin's cricket out. Okay. Rapid fire. We've done it for 135 hours, now 15 minutes. First picture, if I can have that on screen, please. You've mentioned the incident to Rajdeep in this conversation. That picture with Achrekar sir, if you can see it. Not many in this audience know that Achrekar sir actually rejected you. Why don't you tell my audience the story?
Yeah, my first day, I remember I was a really difficult child to manage, and I don't know how my parents managed that. To keep their patience was a big task. And again, I was up to mischiefs, and my summer holidays, my brother decided that this is enough. You have to go back and you have to go on the field and spend all your energy there on the cricket field, and that's how my cricket started. I loved cricket, but season ball cricket I hadn't experienced, and that was when I was 11. I was taken to Achrekar sir. Sir was standing right behind the net, and I was batting. I was so tense. Sir is standing right behind me, and I should bat well, and in that, I was not able to connect. I would have not a single ball I connected properly. And sir politely told my brother, sir knew my brother, so sir politely told him that, he's still young, you give him 6 months more, you work on his batting a little more, and then you bring him. So my brother requested to sir, he said, I know he can bat better than this. So you know me, I've played cricket and I know exactly what I'm saying. I'm not making this request because he's my brother, but I know he can bat better. And he gave one idea to sir. He said, sir, why don't you go and stand, 50 meters away and watch him from there. So sir literally went, on the other side of the pitch. And he was quietly watching me. He had asked me to pad up again and bat. And that time, when I realized that sir was not standing behind, and I started playing all my shots, and suddenly found that sweet connection, and I was able to hit most of the deliveries. And that's when sir said, yeah, you were right. We'll get him to practice. And my career started from there. But the first time sir saw me, sir had rejected.
So if Sachin Tendulkar can get rejected, all of us have a chance in life. Okay? The next one. This is a very special one. The next picture, if I can have that on screen. This one. Pakistan 1989. Waqar Yunus Rajdeep mentioned that 16-year-old Sialkot, you get smashed. Ajit told me he was sitting in the stands, he could hear the sound. And there was this banner, Doodh pi ke aa, bachcha doodh pi ke wapas aa. Tell my audience, what was it like? Did you ever feel like walking out?
Yeah, there were many banners, bachche ghar jaake doodh pi ke aa and all that. It sort of motivated me. I wanted to go and prove a point there. In the 4th test match, Pakistan, I was only 16, so I didn't understand the significance of Pakistan tour and making sure that we performed to the expectations of all our countrymen. And only after I played for a while, I understood the significance. But at that stage, I thought it was a blessing in disguise because, being sometimes 16-year-old, it helps not to know the other side of the coin. And I went out, just wanting to enjoy the tour, and conditions were tough. Pakistan had possibly at that time one of the best bowling attacks in the world, with Imran, Wasim, Waqar, Abdul Qadir, Aqib Javed. They were all, world-class bowlers. And we had drawn first 3 test matches. So the last test match, there was a lot of pressure on Pakistan, and especially on Imran Khan, where, Pakistan was expected to thrash us. And by drawing the first 3 test matches. It was kind of a, which also I learned towards the end of my career, moral victory for us. And then the fourth test match, he had left green top, and the fast bowlers were supposed to destroy us completely. We did well, but in the third innings while we were batting, we had a collapse. We were 34 for 4 wickets down when I went into bat with a day and a half to go. I got hit on my nose. I broke my nose. The game stopped. Javed Miandad, being a very funny man, in Hindi, he said, "Tera naak toot gaya, tere ko hospital mein jana padega." So hoping that, I go to the hospital and then they start putting pressure back again on Indian team. I stayed there because I was hit earlier a couple of times on my nose, and I had broken my nose earlier as well. So that was not new to me. While practicing, one thing sir had taught me was to be fearless. Season ball is going to hurt, and you have chosen to play, so be prepared to take those blows. And that training it helped me at that time. My brother was sitting in the stands, and immediately after that, there was tea time. I batted for maybe 10-15 minutes. There was tea time, and while going up, I saw my brother, and I could see that worried look on his face because I had broken my nose, I had bandaged it, and I continued batting. But something which made me extremely proud was I continued batting the next day as well till lunchtime, and I scored 59 at that time. We were able to save the game, and in the end, when I look back at that particular moment, I feel it was a defining moment for me. It was a make or break situation for me, because after getting hit, you are either scared of a season ball or you get fearless. And in my case, I became fearless and I became more confident, and I was ready to take on the world.
Sachin, we don't have much time. We've got about 5 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll skip the pictures. I'll ask you 2 questions, and I'm sure the audience has a couple, and finish this session off. Let's fast forward to 2003 and that match against Pakistan, Centurion. Just describe that Shoaib Akhtar over to my audience in 60 seconds. Describe that over. I'm sure many people have watched it.
The best atmosphere I have seen so far. I thought any India-Pakistan game is really big, but this was something special. Chasing 274, those days 274 was a big total, different rules, and the best bowling attack at that stage in the world. Lunchtime, we sat, I had my earphones on, I just grabbed a bowl of ice cream, and I told the 12th man, when the umpires go out to bat, tell me. And that's when I'm going to just remove my earphones and walk out to bat. And while walking out to bat, I told Veeru that, पहले कुछ और थोड़ा संभल के देखेंगे, क्योंकि up front they're going to charge in and bowl as quick as possible, pick those early wickets and push us on the back foot. But from the first over itself, in the first over I hit a boundary, and then next was a big over of Shoaib Akhtar. That's when I hit a 6 and couple of boundaries. Within three overs, I think we were 40 plus, which put them on the back foot. But that feeling was incredible, because as I said earlier, that you might have plan A, but it's quickly, if you can figure out what your plan B is and shift the momentum in your favor. That is what I did. I mean, the plan was to just hang around. We went there and we realized the bowlers are not up to the mark. I mean, they are giving us loose deliveries, and we need to put away those loose deliveries. And that sort of laid a solid foundation, and then we could see on their faces that they'd sort of, gone on the back foot, and they thought the game was done.
When I asked Shoaib Akhtar about this, he said, whatever ball I was bowling was getting hit. So I basically told Wasim, the captain, let's not do it anymore. My final question, then audience for 1 question or 2. You go to Melbourne, India bats against South Africa, and the audience goes, Sachin, Sachin. Just 10 days back. You are not playing. Rajdeep asked you, how does it feel?
No, it's a blessing. And then once again, a big thank you. I tweeted actually after I took a photo during the South Africa game, but after beating Pakistan, there were a number of people standing outside my house shouting Sachin, Sachin. So I sort of, took a picture and I video recorded that, because it was something, unique, because I've never experienced that. I was not part of the team. I hadn't scored a single run, neither I had got that run out, or picked a wicket, but people were celebrating, and their way of celebration was to shout my name, and it made me feel special. So it is always a special feeling.
Okay, quick 2 questions, if I can have 2. There's a hand there. If I can have a microphone there, please.
Hi Sachin, this is Sandeep. You being an icon for the youth and the budding cricketers of the country, what's your message to them? And cricket has undergone a lot of transition from test cricket to 50 overs, then 2020. Now what next?
Take one.
My message to youngsters is be true to yourself, don't find shortcuts. There are going to be challenges along the way, not just in cricket, but generally in life. Don't find shortcuts. Stick to those values. And that would be my message to them. And talking about cricket, cricket is changing, and I think the last change has proven to be little harsh on the bowlers. You know, with 5 fielders inside the ring, the par score, which earlier was 260 or 270, it has become 310 or so. And if you score 290, then even, you know, the commentators also nowadays say that no, that's not much. I mean, it's chaseable. But you know, a few years ago, that was a big total. So that change is something that I'm not so pleased about, because on one hand, we are wanting bowlers to be encouraged more and produce quality cricket, and on the other hand, by these restrictions, you are tying their hands, and it puts a lot of pressure. And you see, if you're not a quality bowler, you cannot survive with these rules.
Okay, so we've got a headline. Cricket is not heading the right way. Sir, final question from you.
Cricket is a gentleman's game, and politics is actually quite another ball game. It's even a dirty ball game. So your foray in politics, doesn't it inspire you to also want to clean up politics? You'll have the whole nation behind you.
I said earlier that, you know, values are really, really important in life. I think I'm still young enough to take advice and not give advice. And I'm learning a lot of things in life. My expertise lie in sports. And there, if I have to advise someone and tell them how to bat, or, you know, what are the things which are needed to do, then, you know, it would make more sense. But the field that I'm not in, or not my expertise land, it would be unwise to get in that territory and look to bring in that change. But again, one simple message is something that I want to give, which my father told me. I would like to repeat that you know, try and be a good person in life, and that is something which people around you appreciate. People should want you, not get rid of you. So just try and do that.
Okay, Melbourne did it. Wankhede did it. All of India has done it for 25 years. Can we have the India Today conclave do it one final time, please? Sachin. Come on. Standing ovation for Sachin Tendulkar.
A small token of our appreciation to Sachin Tendulkar. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause, please? The hero of our time, life lessons from the legend Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Once again, thank you, Mr. Tendulkar. Thank you, Mr. Puri. Thank you, Boria.
खेल मजा नहीं है तो खेलो मत.